On today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we are going to be doing our Tremolo series opener, and the Beard's going to tell you why we're doing this.
Right, so recently we finished, in quotes, finished, because it'll never be done,
Ever.
are that Leslie Sound series. And the Leslie Sound was really kind of like my favorite effect. And so it's only fair, I guess, that we move to Pat's favorite effect, which would be tremolo.
Yes.
So Pat's going to tell you the pedal that's the inspiration behind the love of tremolo, I guess.
I do have to say one thing, though. It looks like it's even. There were more tremolo pedals than there are. Or there were more Leslie pedals than there are tremolo pedals.
Yeah, like two.
I like 2 or 3. This is the one that started it all. This, for me, was my first and probably only tremolo pedal, and boy, did I get lucky right out of the gate. This is a Cesar Diaz Trebadillo, no longer made. Caesar's not with us anymore. And a friend of mine had a studio and recorded in his studio, and he had one, and we played it on the recording and thought, I must have one of these. And Caesar was still, again, alive. I had met Caesar at a Philly guitar show, was able to get this one and another one for my friend Brody. It is an amazing pedal. Not robust in features as some of the more recent pedals, but from a sound quality, it's fantastic. So this is the reason why you're going to have to watch 20 plus videos.
Right. And I actually was not really a fan of tremolo until I started playing on the other side of the stage from you, using that pedal week in and week out, and it is, what is the word? Lovely or glorious. Right. I think those are the words.
Talk about that more when we get to our...
So, we did the Leslie series. And the Leslie series really looked to cover just about every Leslie pedal on the new and used market. There's some that are missing at this point. As of recording this video, there's a few that are missing. But we're working on that. But we did not really set out to do that. There's just too many tremolo pedals to do that. So we set out to find some of the ones that we really like from the companies that we really like, that we think are just like kind of a good collection of tremolo pedals. To start off here, there are 2 pedals that were part of the Leslie series. So there's only 2 pedals, I think, that we're going to show you that are not made anymore. One of them is the TR7 rotary, tremolo rotary. If we take this little thing off, it has several different tremolos on it, but it also had a rotary, so there is an episode on this for that Leslie Sound. We'll do an episode for the tremolo part of that pedal. Another holdover from that Leslie Sound was this pedal. This is the... Yes, surprising.
It's so heavy.
Oh my gosh, like a brick. Is the Roto Machine from line 6. But this was one of those fancy pedals where you can actually take out that brown insert and replace that with the Tap Tremolo insert. So both of these pedals, not made anymore, but both are great. Leslie pedals, both are great. Tremolos, and we'll get into those a little bit more.
So coming back over to me, this is the Mooer Spark Series Tremolo. Very small, compact, as you can see. It basically has a rate, volume, and a depth. And I built travel board, and I like things that warble, right? So I needed something, and so I got this and put it on there. Really inexpensive pedal. Sounds great. Small footprint. So another blend from the 2 series is Dave was kind enough to send us a Leslie pedal, and then he gave us this tremolo pedal here. It's simply called Tremolo, magically. This is amazing to me because I will tell you, sonically, it rivaled the DS pedal. But it has tap tempo, it has rate control, it has 2 ins, 2 outs. It's really nice, and it sounds... We have a sound clip that we're going to play it for you.
So that was Pat playing the DLS Effects Tremolo. And one of the first weeks you used that live. So before the lockdown,
Right.
this is one of the few that we were able to use live a good bit. And he was using that, and I was thinking how good the DS sounded. And then I realized it was in time.
Yeah, I'm like, that can't be the DS.
Right. And then it dawned on me that it wasn't the DS. He's right. It really, it sounds fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you, Dave, for sending that over. So moving on, I'm going to start with the TR2 Tremolo bought in the Rudders parking lot during a rainstorm. Simply because this is just classic tremolo. If you're looking for a tremolo pedal, don't need a lot of features, just need it to do the tremolo thing. This is a great one. Next, during our 19 Conversation series, we got to talk with Tim Steer from Hamstead Effects. And so Hamstead is taking their tremolo circuit from their hand-built high-end amps, and they're putting it in a box. And that is this pedal right here. That is their signature tremolo pedal. Very nice tremolo. It has 3 different waveforms on it. Classic sine wave and tremolo. It has a shape knob, gain knob. Sounds a little bit something like this.
So because of this series, I got to do one of my favorite things, which is shop. So I was able to find this Danelectro CEO Tremolo for a really good price, brand new. So kind of a little bit of a budget pedal, but speed and a depth and a hard and soft toggle switch. Pretty nice, somewhat basic, but a nice pedal if you're trying to get into tremolo and don't want to spend a lot. Then we have this, which is the opposite of what I just showed you. It's the Cusack Music Tap-A-Whirl. John Cusack was kind enough to come on to our 19 Conversations that we keep mentioning, and we talked to him, and we were able to get some help on getting this in. This pedal could be an entire series within itself. It's got 3 banks of 8 different waveforms.
Right. So 24.
And a tap.
And a tap.
And
it's the mad scientist pedal of waveforms. He really packed everything into it.
To be proven by, he used an RCA jack for, was it for tap? Is that what that was for?
He talks about that in the interview we did with him.
So Tap-A-Whirl. And so because I felt this was so robust and had some unique stuff, I did kind of probably one of the more unique clips, for me at least, playing these pedals, and it sounds like this. That was the Cusack Music Tap-A-Whirl. If you're not familiar with John Cusack and what he does for the pedal world, highly recommend going back to our 19 Conversation series and watching that interview, because I guarantee you own a pedal if you're into this stuff that he had his hand in. We'll just leave it there. Next on the list, I bought a while back the Joyo Tremolo. And this is supposed to be a clone of the Caesar Diaz. And we actually did a video already where we did kind of a shootout between the two, and you can go and check that out. But we'll do some more, probably do another little video with this. Great. Again, inexpensive.
Joyo makes some inexpensive stuff, but some real quality stuff too. And so this is a real quality. I mean, if you just, again, I want a tremolo. Good way to go. Then I have the Strymon Flint. And so the Flint is a really kind of unique one in the group because it has the reverb on it too. And Strymon was kind enough to help us out in getting this in a little bit as well. And so what you have on here is you have a tremolo, speed and intensity, and then you have a reverb. And so as I was thinking about this pedal, it just screams like vintage to me because you have a 61 harmonic, a 63 tube, 65 photo. I use the 63 tube tremolo with the 60s reverb, and it just kind of screamed a little vintage with me, so I went with something that maybe sounds a little vintage in my playing. Sounds a little something like this.
You played him a little diddly.
Played him a little to you. That was terrible.
Strymon, what can you say about Strymon? I mean, they make some high quality items here. So what I have here in my hand is the Red Witch Pentavocal Trem. This pedal, although not a lot of features in the sense there's no digital overlay, there's no tap tempo, there are 5 different selections of tremolo types. You've got a velocity, a depth, a volume, a bottom, and then you can click here and change the waveform on top of all of that. And I like when you actually engage the pedal, it's called you tremulate. You tremulate. So that's what our fine friends from I believe New Zealand are making. Moving on, we have the JHS pedals Kodiak Tremolo. Again, we're just gratuitously dropping names here. We had the opportunity to interview Josh Scott in the past, and one of our favorite pedal builders, great pedal historian. He's got a great channel that we love watching. But so we were like, what would Josh Scott do with tremolo? So, he's got a lot of the traditional sounding things, but he's got ratios covered on here. You've got a mix. You can change the wave, the speed, and the volume, tap tempo. And you can also plug in an expression pedal. For this particular one, I didn't use the expression pedal, but I did play something that sounds like this. That was the JHS Kodiak. Next pedal on my list is the Supa Trem Jr. by Fulltone. This was picked up maybe 6 or 8 months ago when I was just looking around. Before we even thought about doing the series, I was looking around at some new pedals. This has tap tempo, had some other built-in features. The external expression tap that I was thinking I might need at the time. Ended up not needing it, but kept it around because we were going to do this. Interesting, maybe my first tremolo ever was the Supa Trem, not the Junior, but I didn't really get tremolo back then, so don't have that one anymore. Next on my list is the Red Mountain by Swindler Effects. We have a kind of a history now with Drew Swindler. He's done our interview series. He's done our 19 Conversations series. There's been some other stuff in talking back and forth. We've done a couple of his other pedals. His stuff is always great. Mm-hmm. It's always packed full of features. There's actually a favorite setting on here. There's a ramp setting on here. There is some different waveforms on here, different divisions, tap tempo, stereo. And the clip that you're about to hear is done in stereo.
And we just played something really simple and cranked it up with stereo on. And if you put on headphones, you'll be able to hear that. It sounds a little something like this.
All right, so that was the Red Mountain by Swindler Effects. Moving on, as kind of another holdover-ish pedal from the Leslie series. We got this from Brian Wampler, who we also had the pleasure of interviewing. This Terraform was kind of a long time in the making for him. In part, it has 11 different effects in here, and 2 of them are tremolo. One's a tremolo, one's a harmonic trem. Mm-hmm. We had to ask him about harmonic trem. He's one of the ones that tried to explain it to us. So this is a great pedal. This is one that we didn't just hold over for this series. We're just like, I think we need to keep this one around because it's the Swiss Army knife, and
right.
Wampler does all of the effects he's packed in here very well. So there's that. So here we have the Dynatrem from Robert Keeley. Robert Keeley was kind enough to help us out to get pedals in for both series. Right. And for this particular pedal, there's always some uniqueness, and usually this mini toggle in the middle of these Keeley pedals. And so this has a depth, a rate, a level, and a shape. And the toggle switch is a dynamic rate, a dynamic depth, and then you have the harmonic trem. And the harmonic trem then engages, with the shape knob, and you can bring reverb in. So I played the clip that you're about to hear in that setting with the reverb from the pedal and a delay pedal. And it sounds like this.
All right, so that was the Dynatrem from Keeley Electronics. Next up for us is a pedal I've been really interested in about. We got in for the show. It is the Loma Prieta. I believe that's how you say it, from Coppersound Effects. It is a really interesting pedal in that it has a lot of features. On the back, it has a switch for harmonic trem and regular tremolo. And it has a grit knob. And then it has this wonderful little knob here that lets you do different things with that button there. So tap in one of the cases. In another case, it will take the grit all the way up. In another one, it will give it a lo-fi sound. And in another one, it will double the speed of whatever it's set at. There's also an external tempo button on it. Anyway, a lot of really cool features. Can't wait to dive into that pedal. That's the Coppersound Effects Loma Prieta. And then we have, which I was super, super excited to get this pedal on. I've wanted to play one of the jam pedals for a long time, and they were kind enough to help me out a little bit with this pedal here. This is Jam Pedals Big Chill. And all of their stuff just looks cool. Mm-hmm. No top tempo on this, but you have 2 different speeds that you can set up, and then you have a chop button at the top, so it's really kind of an interesting pedal in and of itself. And that one sounds a little bit something like this.
right, so that was the Big Chill from Jam. What I'm about to show you is the biggest pedal in the series, but that's only because it's on paper. This is the Fender MTG Tube Tremolo. Fender was kind enough to send us the pinwheel for our Leslie series. Great pedal. Stunned that Fender sent us something right out of the gate. They've also helped us out with a Tele makeover with some Twisted Tele pickups and a Fender branded Bigsby. And now, by the time this airs, we will have this in our possession, or should. Right. But it was kind of introduced I think at NAMM, and then the whole COVID thing hit, and so it took a while. But this we're looking forward to playing this tube tremolo, and are continually grateful for Fender's engagement with us doing this little YouTube channel that we do.
Absolutely.
So I think it's the last name I'm going to get to drop in this series, sadly, because I love dropping names. Here we have the Monument from Walrus Audio. And we were able to get Colt Westbrook to come on to the show for 19 Conversations, although I believe they had already agreed to help us with some stuff prior to that.
Yeah, we had that pedal.
And then we had him to come on, which also then led to us getting to do a new release for them at the Ages Overdrive, which you can go check out. But this is a really great pedal. Again, you have your volume, your division, your rate, then you have your shapes, and then you have your depth, and you also have the harmonic and standard tremolo settings and a tap tempo. Really versatile pedal, and here's the clip that I played on this pedal.
That was the Walrus Audio Monument pedal on the harmonic setting with the Ages Overdrive. So thanks, Walrus, for all your support. We appreciate it. Next up, I think the last tremolo in the series is the Hummingbird from Earthquaker Devices. And so since Pat likes to drop names, we were able to have Jamie Stillman come on the 19 Conversations series and talk to us. Great guy, great company, doing some interesting things. This is one of Jamie's favorite pedals, I think he said. One of his top 3 or 4. Modeled after some kind of, I forget the name of it, but some repeater. If you think the beginning of the One Who song, it's a crazy pedal. And so I sat down to record the next clip and ended up in the end with an expression pedal on, because it has an expression pedal jack. Ended up with an expression pedal on. Ended up with a fuzz pedal. We're using the Stinger Fuzz from TL Pedals in this clip. And TL Pedals is probably going to have a tremolo out that will be in this series, but is not out at this time.
No pressure, Tim.
Yeah, no pressure, Tim. And so if you're playing a fuzz pedal through a really, really choppy tremolo with an expression pedal, why wouldn't you play a hollow body guitar with a slide? And I am going to blame everything about this next clip on the director. It's
the only thing on the whole series I've ever directed, so I hope you love it.
So, just direct all comments to the left. Sounds a little something like this. that was the Hummingbird by Earthquaker Devices. So that pretty much wraps up at time of filming the 20... Did we figure out 22 pedals that we know are going to be in the series? The beautiful thing about these series, though to me, maybe not to Pat, is that if we find other pedals along the way, we can drop them into the series as well. But so this is a little, like we said earlier, a little bit different than the Leslie series where we were trying to cover everything. In this one, we're really looking at, kind of looking at price and features and looking for pedals that are both affordable and some that are very expensive, and then also looking for different features that the pedals have, because a lot of these have some really unique features. So a little bit different than the Leslie series, where they all kind of had some version of a feature set. Some of these are getting really creative, and we really love that.
Right.
So subscribe if you want to see what's coming in the Leslie series. Subscribe if you want to see the other stuff that we're doing that really helps us out. Slip over to Instagram or Facebook, follow us there. We're putting out a lot of like kind of teasers and things of stuff that's coming up, and we would love to talk to you there as well. And with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear. That's not too much. Welcome to the series.